creatives, you know, all those things. What's happening? You get the gist. Hey, it's Tiffany back for another video. We're going to be doing a Travels with Tiffany video. But actually, before we get into it, if you don't know, I'm Tiffany. I'm from Mellow Vybes, and my channel helps artistic, spiritual, introspective, wanderlusting, freedom seekers work towards living the life that they want, develop and share their gifts, be more self-aware. Self-awareness is key, and develop healthier relationships with other people and with themselves. And so if you are interested in that, be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, like and share this video and any other video on my channel. I hope you really, or I would love to inspire you to like go for the life that you want. This is like what I do with my work as a hypnotherapist and a coach, and I usually am helping a lot of people with anxiety and different blocks that they're having that are subconscious, work to remove those so that you can live your best life. And with my videos on Mellow Vybes, on the Mellow Vybes channel, I hope to inspire you further with the different things that we talk about and the different things that you see from me, and help you on your journey. There's been so many people over my lifetime who come to me for this very thing and say that I've inspired them to get better, to better themselves. And so that is what I do, and I am certified in doing the things that I talk about. And so, but today we're gonna go to a Travels with Tiffany video, which is, I have stopped doing those for a while. I used to do them for a long time. If you are an OG with Mellow Vybes, I did a lot of travel interviews, a lot of travel videos. I interviewed a lot of people on traveling, but specifically travel in a way to improve, in a way to develop yourself, because it's like you don't really know who you are unless you take yourself out of your environment. And I love travel for that reason. Like I'm a traveler, and so I love just going somewhere different and somewhere new. And if you saw my video on like my top 5 high vibe countries to go to for Black women, Germany was on one of them. And I don't actually have any of my Germany footage, so now I'm going to do a video putting out my Germany footage that I went on this trip January 2020. It was like when we were like hearing about this virus and stuff. And I remember my mom was like, don't come back with that virus. And yeah. So yeah, we went, I went with my little sister, and we went January. It was just a week. It was like, I think it was like the 23rd to the 30th, I believe. And a lot of the stuff wasn't planned. We were just gonna go to Germany and all I wanted was my truffles. If you watch that video about the 5 countries, I think I mentioned before, when I went to Italy in 2012, I had a landing, a layover in Germany, and I had like the best truffles that I had ever had in my life. And when I went to England in 2016, I was trying to get those truffles. I didn't go to Germany, but I had emailed the company, and I was just like, where can I get the truffles? I'm going to be in England, I'm going to be in I'm going to be in London, I'm going to be in Paris, I'm going to be in Florence. Where can I get the truffles anywhere in those places? And they were like, sure, you can get them in London at the Waitrose grocery stores. And if you've been in London, they're like everywhere. And I went to so many Waitroses and they were not there. And so I was holding on to this hope for these truffles from 2012 to 2020 when I went to Germany. I was like, I'm getting them. I'm going to Germany. There should not be an issue. And so, we're shaking my little table. I went to Germany for those truffles. I'm just gonna say that. We didn't really have that many plans aside me getting truffles and her as well, because when I had brought them back from my trip to Italy, she was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. So I think when we were there, we did the most of we just kind of figured out what we were doing. We kind of made plans once we were there. We didn't really plan that much stuff. We had planned like things to do in the city we were at, or like right outside, because we were staying in Bergisch Gladbach, which is just a couple minutes from Cologne. And so we had planned to go to a few places in Cologne. and we had planned our hiking trip and Koenig Forest and all that stuff, but we hadn't planned on going to other countries that much. It was just a thought, but we didn't really we hadn't pre-purchased anything. And yeah, so it ended up us spending a ton of time in Cologne because aside from the things that we had wanted to do in Cologne, we had to go to the Cologne airport literally like every day for the trips that we were taking. We took Flixbus. I think that was the only bus we took, or it might have been another one, but I'm pretty sure it was Flixbus that we exclusively took to go to other places, and it left from the Cologne airport. So we were always at the Cologne airport, always in the grocery store that was in the Cologne airport, getting snacks and getting like little energy shots and stuff. Yeah, had we planned this a bit better, which is rare for me because everybody knows, I will plan things, I over plan usually, but I just really didn't feel like doing that, and I knew that I was the one that was going to be doing most of that work and not my little sister. I remember us being in our apartment in Bergisch Gladbach, and I was just like, are you paying attention? Like, what are we doing? I'm not gonna do this whole thing by myself. So I was just super frustrated with I'm always the one doing a lot. And so we did stuff on the fly, and we went to Amsterdam, which was 78 euros round trip. Again, all this stuff is last minute, so I'm sure it would have been less, but I mean, even still, you're going to another country, it's kind of a there's this huge blue jay. It's super fat right outside my window. It's kind of like a not once in a blue moon, but I don't know when I'm going to go to Germany again. So round trip, took a bus to Amsterdam one day. We did Frankfurt, which is in Germany, but that's 3 hours away. So we did that. I think that was 20 something euros, and yeah, we were going to do Luxembourg, which is also 3 hours away, because then we would have hit another country. But we chose Frankfurt instead, and I can't remember why. But it just I think Luxembourg kind of just seemed I don't know if there was really anything that we wanted to do there. So yeah, and then we did Belgium, and that was $40 something round trip. And when we arrived there, that was pretty sketchy. But it was so dark. I think we were supposed to get there at 5 or right before 5 in the morning. We were always at the Cologne airport at 2 o'clock in the morning or something. Somewhere between 1 and 3 o'clock a.m. were all of our bus trips. So we barely slept the whole time we were there. And so I think we actually arrived at 4:45 a.m. in Brussels, and it was very, very dark. I don't know why I thought the sun would be rising around 5:20. I think I had looked it up, but then it was still dark. So it was kind of scary. So we kind of stayed in the bus station for a little bit, but then we're okay, we gotta leave once we got to Brussels. So then we kind of just started walking and found this little cafe and got some fresh peppermint tea and croissants, and we were the only women. I guess women are not up that early in the morning or out doing business. It was just the work of men, I guess. But yeah, anyway, this is a really long intro, and I enjoy our Germany Plus trip 2020. This is a flashback Friday, because I guess this will go up on Friday. So this is the email that I got from Peter's. The company was the truffle company that I was talking about. And so clearly I had messaged them to see where I could get their truffles, where I was staying. And so they let me know that they were in Karstadt Center. And that is where we went. We thought about going to the Chocolate Museum as well, but we went to the Karstadt Center, which is a mall, basically. You will see that later in the video. I'm not actually sure where that was, where that airport that was in. I think I have this in order, so I guess it would maybe be somewhere in London. Interesting kind of escalators on a ramp. So we had a layover in London. So this is my friend Joe that I had never actually met in person until this moment. So we've been like friends online since like 2011. We were both featured in the same blog back in the day, and then we became friends. And yeah, so we had actually, because I went to London in 2016, but we had just like missed each other basically. So I finally got to meet up with him on our layover in London and chill for a bit in the airport, which was like, so that was kind of annoying, or more than kind of. I always forget how expensive London is, especially the transportation is ridiculous. So we actually had to transfer airports. I'm not really sure which two airports it was, but the thing is, we had to transfer airports to get our flight to Germany. And so we didn't think it was going to be that bad, but then we had to like buy a train ticket for one leg of that trip, and then take like two subways or whatever metros for um, the rest of the time. Basically, we spent like $50 each just to go in between airports, and this is just public transportation. This is not taking a taxi, which I think would have been more. So that was pretty annoying, and definitely makes me not want to go to London again, because I forgot how expensive it really is. But yeah, we just like kicked it in the airport, me and Joe and my sister, for a couple hours just chatting and stuff and having a little lunch. This is on the train with my sister. That's what that means in German. It's dark out. Like, just a quick hello. We made it to Germany. Me and my sister were in our cute apartment. Little view. We're like unpacking, but we're trying to like go out and just walk around. It's 7 o'clock here, and so 1 o'clock my regular time. And I'm very tired, but we're gonna just see what's out there. There's stuff around. So this, we had gone to, luckily there was like a little grocery store just up the block from where our apartment was, and so we just like grabbed some quick things. I spent like €10 on this, which was pretty good. Actually, it's very good for, a bottle of wine, some snacks. I had like lunch and what was this, couscous, some salads. Yeah, so that was, that's the one thing I love. Well, one of the many things I love actually about being in Europe is you can get a bottle of wine for like $3. And so, yeah, that was my booty, my pirate's booty for the night. Just doing a little quick run to the store. I think we had actually walked around a little bit up and down the street to see what was around, because we were across the street from like a Greek restaurant as well. So this is the next day in Cologne. This is the cathedral called Dom Cologne, which means like the Cologne Cathedral. And it's really beautiful, as most cathedrals are. That's me in all black like a ninja. Super, super cold. So I have like a mask on and everything. This is pre-COVID, or but I have like a cold mask, like a mask door in the cold that covers my face. I live in New England, so yeah, I need it. There was some kind of festival going on, and I can't remember what it was. And this is this is what you get for like doing a video about something almost 2 years after the fact. So yeah, I don't remember what festival it was now, but you'll see the men are all dressed in red and white. It was some kind of, oh gosh, I really don't remember what it was, because it was a time where, so this was happening. There was going to be a night where people were dressing up in costumes, but you'll see some of the costumes that were being sold, which were crazy. But you'll see some of those costumes a little bit later in the video that were being sold. But yeah, it was some kind of, I swear I'm always arriving somewhere in another country when there's a festival going on, and like I have no idea. So we went into the cathedral. We had to pay like, I think, €2 to light a candle and for a prayer, and so we did. That was my candle specifically. they had still, even though it was like the end of January, they still had a nativity scene up. Um, I mean, I guess it was a nativity scene. Like part of it looks like it was. You can see people and camels on the back. But then there's like right here, like some kind of like a crossing guard. Like I don't know. I don't know what that is. So then we went to the like right next to the cathedral was like a museum. And so we went to the museum and I swear we're like the only people in there. It was quite interesting. But yeah, there was like this mosaic. Here's the information on it, but this mosaic is from 220 AD, which is insane. This is the mosaic. It's massive, so we're like standing over it. And then there was also pieces of a tomb. That's what you see here. Okay, we're in the shopping center, and the main point of coming here was to get Peter's truffles. I bought them 7 years ago when I was briefly in Germany. Can't buy them online. They don't ship to the United States. So I just bought like 6 boxes and then some individual truffles that they had as well that we noticed after we got a bunch of boxes. But yeah, hoping I can fit all of it in my suitcase. Upstairs in the center, there was a restaurant, and so we got a drink, and Rubos is one of my favorites, so that's what I had. And yeah, they had like it's kind of a what do you call it, like a la carte. You just go around and take what you want, and you pay for it at the end. So we did that, and so we had a little lunch, and so we sat up here for a while. So this is where I was talking about in my previous video about like the 5 high vibe countries that I listed. This is where I was up on this floor where when I said that I was experiencing maybe a little bit of black privilege, which has never happened to me before. So yeah, it was when I was here. Yeah, this was our favorite chocolate from when I had bought this back in 2012. This was the Kia Royale truffle. It, I will say, it wasn't as good as both of us remembered. Maybe since then we've had better chocolate or better truffles. I don't know, but it it was good, but it wasn't like as amazing as I remembered it to be. And many of them were not as amazing as I remembered them to be. They were still good, but I would say the one that was like super amazing that I really loved this time around, whatever, our taste buds change anyway. So maybe like so this time around, what was my favorite, which I'm really mad about because I only got one of them because I wasn't sure. Because these all have Kir Royale is a liquor, so there's liquor infused in them. You can buy some with liquor and some without. So I got the ones with liquor, and but my favorite ended up being the gin and tonic. It was so good. So this is later that day. We actually met up at an Italian restaurant for dinner with my sister's friend who is from Germany. And yeah, so we had dinner together. She hadn't seen her friend in like 4 years. She had been an exchange student when they were in high school. And so we hung out with her for a bit. That was my very light meal. What I could get that was vegetarian, basically. I will say Barolo. I was so happy to have Barolo because I made such this horrible mistake of not getting a bottle when I was in Italy. Like the first time around, I remember being in Pisa and they were selling it. There was like little vendors outside of the Piazzale where the Leaning Tower is, and they were selling the bottle for like €10, and I was just like, that's kind of expensive because, like I said, you can get bottles of wine for like €3 in Europe, and so. But that was one of the wines I was looking for. I was looking for Barolo and Brunello. Those were the ones suggested to me by someone who I know who owns this wine shop in my city, my favorite wine store to go to. And he's like, you have to get those. So when I saw that it was €10, I was like, okay, I could probably get it for cheaper. And then I was so wrong. Any other wine shop I went into when I was in Italy,
it was like at least maybe 37 euro for a bottle. Like those are actually very expensive wines. So getting it for 10 was actually a steal and I didn't know. So I had never actually tried Barolo until that very moment in this restaurant in Germany. So, and it was very good. So this is more that festival, like 2 or 3 day festival that was happening. So this was the day we went hiking. Like I said, we had planned a hiking trip, and so we took a train to Koenig Forest. Actually, we took a train to somewhere, and then took a bus to Koenig Forest. That was a really interesting tree. It was like kind of face a monster coming out of it. It was really beautiful. It was like really like picture book kind of forest. I don't know why I like this picture. I think because it looks like a tuning fork, and it makes me think of like a siren. This is me on an alligator. So after our hiking trip, we took a bus back to our city that we were staying in, which is British Gladbach. But we actually, um, I think we were kind of like in the center of it, and so there's like a lot of shops and different things around, restaurants.
Wait, what's the place called?
Ice Cafe Leonardo. I think it's this way. Oh, look at those stairs on this red building. Vamos. We were actually trying to find this little cafe. So we were trying to find our way to the cafe. I love this graffiti right here. So we finally got there, and what we realized was that there are a ton of ice cafes in Germany, and so like if you can see, well, part of the menu's cut off, but it's spelled EIS, ice. It's like a coffee shop where you can get lunch and stuff, but they have tons of like extravagant like ice cream sundaes and stuff like that. And so that we were at Ice Cafe Leonardo, but there's actually a lot of them. There's like but with different Italian names. I don't know why we were saying a bunch of Italian stuff in Germany, but that's um, what it was. So there would be like a ice cafe, I think Michelangelo, or stuff like that. I love architecture if you can't tell, and I have a thing with the doors, so I really love that door. Okay, so these are some of the costumes that I was talking about that you could purchase for this festival that I can't remember what it was called. But yeah, like the one in the middle is literally a toilet with a plunger for a hat. So this is us at another ice cafe. And those aren't, I think, yeah, they're not bad prices either. I feel like they're maybe around €6 for these extravagant ice creams. And if you could see my sister's, hers looked like noodles, like they looked like spaghetti, but it was ice cream. So this is just us walking around Cologne at night. Clearly, I'm always struck by the cathedral. This is showing the, this is on the metro. So the way we did it was we pre-purchased rides, which there's an app for the metro, and you can pre-purchase whether it's like 2 rides or a few rides, something like that. And so there's this place where you can put your phone up, and I don't know if you can see kind of like the QR code a little bit, so you can just scan your QR code so they know that you've paid basically. But really, much like a lot of places in Europe, it's really on the honor system. Nobody's going around checking you to see that you went up to the station and paid for anything. But like, we just prepaid for our metro tickets before we left the house each day, basically. Yeah, my sister was like really on a mission to get those Nutella wafer things. And so we were waiting for the metro and then got to Amsterdam. The houses are so narrow, it's really interesting. These were a bunch of weird, interesting, like comical socks. A lot of them had Trump on it. This was like such a cute truck. It's actually very tiny. I loved the graffiti. This was a little flower house. I don't remember what it's called. Again, consequences of doing something almost 2 years after the fact. It was this beautiful, it's kind of in the canal, like it's like on the water. And so there's just a little shop where you can buy flowers. So we're just walking around. We hit a few shops. This was like a museum, like courtyard, like it was kind of like a walking tour, like just a self-guided walking tour of this kind of museum and courtyard. Again, I don't remember, but it was free. We just like walked around. Beautiful hallway. Yeah, so we got lunch and we had, I'm pretty sure that was glühwein. I think it's called glühwein. Glühwein? Yeah, I think it's called glühwein. I can kind of get it confused sometimes with like something my mom makes that's called glögg, which is a Swedish drink, which is very similar. It's basically like a mix of wine and different alcohols and fruits and herbs and stuff. And so the German version of that is glühwein, if I'm not mistaken. I had a pizza, which was extremely good. It was like a mushroom pizza. I don't know why it looks so elongated and alien-esque, but yeah, so this is outside Frank and Frank's house. That was the whole thing because my sister really wanted to go to that, which I wouldn't ever want to go to something like so depressing. I remember like having to read Anne Frank's book and stuff when I was in school, but she really wanted to go. But there was like, it's like always sold out. So I think there's times where there are certain cancellations or they have like a little window where they let a few people buy. And so for some reason, I think it wasn't working for her. And she was calling like our parents to buy the tickets. And they were not understanding why. I don't understand why at this point in time, but like it was something where she couldn't do it, and like we couldn't do it, and she was asking them to try to get us the tickets, and then didn't happen, so we didn't make it inside, which was actually a very common theme throughout our whole trip, as is us trying to go into different museums and then not being able to get entrance, and not having enough cash on us to get entrance, and not finding an ATM to get cash to get entrance. Yeah, like I said, kind of unprepared, but didn't mind because it was nice to like not be so prepared for once and just to go with, okay, that didn't work out. What are we doing next? You know. Made it to the red light district, and us going to the red light district almost got us left.
Yeah. No, she's on the phone. It looks like. Interesting.
Doing sandwiches.
Yeah, so we literally, it was so crowded, and we were trying to get back to where the bus station was, and then we couldn't even remember where it was, and we had walked so far that it was just like, there's no way we have time to walk back to where the bus station is, and then we had to like hop like I was trying to get an Uber. Also, like I wasn't paying for like any international plan, so well I was, if need be, using like an AT&T day pass or whatever. And so it's like basically anytime you use your phone outside the country, then it's they're charging you $10 per day. And so I turned that on so that I can try to like get an Uber, but then it like wasn't working. Like I wasn't getting any data or whatever. And then we just happened to see a taxi, and we like hailed the taxi and jumped in. And luckily we even had cash for that. So, but we like made it just in time. Um, with like maybe a couple minutes. Like it actually, I think, was past the time, but the bus just happened to be a little bit late. And that happened again a little bit later. But this is us back at the airport store we were in all the time, getting like these energy shots and stuff. This is us in Brussels. Well, this is Brussels. This is when it finally became daylight. If you remember at the beginning, I was saying that we arrived and it was super dark. It felt really sketchy, but it finally got to be daylight at this point. Okay, so this is a statue of this boy that you'll see later. This like fountain boy, because it is apparently like this famous thing, and so they have all these souvenirs with him and his penis being something like a corkscrew, like you just saw. This is us coming upon the palace. So this was like a chocolate shop. So there's the little boy again, made out of chocolate. So we went to like a waffle spot, and I got a savory waffle, which wasn't actually my favorite thing, but you could see it had like, it was a vegetarian waffle, so it had like spinach and tomato and stuff inside. This was the entrance of like some chocolate place, like a chocolate factory. And here we found the little boy. So we just walked around. We didn't have any plans. We were wandering. All we wanted to see was like the palace, basically, and have like real Belgian waffles, which we did. Oh, and my sister wanted the Belgian fries as well, which we will get to. This was this massive, beautiful mall. This is like a chocolate shop. All this stuff is chocolate. It looks like tools. Oh, those were marshmallows right there. Like my sister bought some of those marshmallows, like lavender marshmallows and vanilla marshmallows, stuff like that. Quite interesting, these weaved walls of trees or something. Oh, that's a beautiful gazebo. Fries. If you can tell, that's like a giant Christmas ornament that you can like sit inside. But I'll just say right now, Brussels was the coldest. It was probably one of the coldest, probably the coldest that I've ever been in my life. Possibly. In the top 3 at least. More waffles. I got some sweetness. So this is back in our apartment. This was like the only German beer that I had the whole time, actually. And it was really good. Actually, I think I had a Heineken. Is it Heineken German? I didn't have a Heineken in Amsterdam, but I think that's German. But it was very good. And then this was our Airbnb host left us a few of these beers. This is another energy shot that was ginger. Inga means ginger, and it says Inga shot. It also says golden spice. Meat, orange. Meat means with. Citrone is lemon. Curcuma is turmeric. So we're in Frankfurt. Look at those trees. Those were so insane. Yeah, we were just walking around, and this was another place where we were like gonna stop into a museum, and then didn't have enough for the entrance, and then we were like asking where the ATM was, and then I don't think we ever found it, or then we just decided just never mind or something. It was a really cool bridge that we walked across. This was an interesting tree. See, it's hollow inside. That looks insane and magical with all those trees. So we were kind of on a search here for apfel wine. I think that's what my sister wanted. I think someone told her that she should try apfel wine, which apfel just means apple and wine means wine. Apfel wine. So we found, I think we had asked a few places, people where we could get some when we were walking around the streets, and so they directed us here, and so we had some apfel wine. We also went shopping, which was probably, I don't think you'll see pictures of, I don't have pictures of us shopping, but my sister was on a mission to find a coat, because when we were in Amsterdam, we went to this store, and she wanted to get a coat. We just ended up, well, I ended up buying some shirts, but she just really wanted a really good winter coat, and she found one in Frankfurt, and we were getting so late, we literally, like, ended up running to our bus. Our bus was literally pulling off. It was at, the only reason why we got on our bus, because it was at a red light, and we just, like, banged on the door. So, yeah, you won't see any of that, but this is, us walking around Frankfurt still.
Have you seen them before? Those 2 dogs.
No idea.
Remember there was one boat?
Oh, on the street. Oh, where by the museums?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just going straight. These look like nobody could possibly stand in them. They look fake.
Yeah. What I was talking about?
But it's that.
What are you doing?
Looking at that.
No, what are you
thing.
doing?
Making a video.
funny. That's no big deal. All you do is this.
I'm just showing the scene. What am I supposed to do?
Slow down.
Accordion. Oh, you're saying free to color?
Tesla.
So these, I feel like it's something village. You know, I could have done my research before I did this video so I could remember, but I didn't.
Who? He's taking a photo. Are you sure?
He's smiling because they're laughing.
Κοίτα, κοίτα αυτό τώρα, δεν καλή φωτογραφία. Έλα ρε.
There were little shops within this plaza area where we bought, I think like some scarves. I did buy a scarf here, yeah, for my niece, and then I bought a few bells, different trinkets. We bought here. You can't see me, but I'm literally sitting in front of the middle building on the steps. More Italian stuff. More Italian stuff. Yeah, cannoli. One of my favorite cannolis are cannolis with pistachios on it, so. And I don't know what kind of blue gelato that was, but and that's what my sister got. I'm like, how are you having gelato? It's freezing. So we found a gallery that we could walk around and look at some cool artwork. This picture was interesting because it was like celebrities dressed as like nobility, some of them anyway. I think kind of near the front, standing up, is like, I'm pretty sure that's Emmy Rossum, dressed in some, you know, olden time clothes. This is on the bus back to our apartment. This mess is not how our apartment looked at all times, but this is us packing our stuff. You can't see. Oh, I don't want to eat. Wow, I didn't take a picture of my room. So this was like a open space kind of. What you don't see is, so this is like, it's clearly like a living room. Kind of in front of where this couch is like a little sitting area. Oh, but you saw that where I was sitting having the beer, and there's like a little bookshelf and stuff there too. Clearly you can see a bed. So she slept in the bed that's right there. To the right was a little kitchen area where you saw where I had gotten the stuff from the grocery store. My things were sitting there in the kitchen area. And then through the kitchen area was then another bedroom, which is where I slept. It was a super cozy little bedroom. It was cute. It had a desk. And off from like where her bed is, there was a bathroom, which was so nice. It was a really nice bathroom. It was a very like different shaped bath and shower. Like it was curved, and it had a nice like a towel warmer and everything. So this was okay. So our last day, we were like, let's go to the spa. There was a spa in Bergisch Gladbach, and we're like, we've been walking around miles and miles every day. We haven't slept that much, so let's on our last day just go to the spa. Because I found a place beforehand that was, you know, on my list of maybe we could get there, and so we brought stuff that so we would be prepared because we needed to have our own like bathing suit and towel and like flip flops and stuff, or shower shoes, or you know, stuff like that. So it's a place where they have a ton of mineral springs, like hot thermals, hot thermal springs, and so like they they had like 3 or 4 different pools, and each pool had like, you know, certain stuff in it. It was good for certain things. And so like they had different temperatures. I mean, they were all warm, but they had different temperatures. I think the coolest one was actually like, I want to say it was 65. Like, but that was the one that was it was like one of those torture things I would never do, where um we had to go through some kind of tunnel area, like when we were inside the building. This was like one of our last pools, I think. We're inside the building, and then we had to go through a door that led to a tunnel that had water in it. So we walked down into the watery tunnel, and then and then it opens up to the outside, a pool that's outside. And so again, it was freezing outside. You know, it's winter time. It was very, very cold. So we had to like go, you know, be out in the cold and then jump in the hot spring, and then to get to the other tub. Yeah, because there was 2 tubs outside. So at the other tub, we had to like quickly run, uh, quickly run to the other one because it was just so freaking cold. But then the ones outside weren't as warm as the one, like temperature wise, they were not set as warm as the ones inside. So it was just like it's not like it was even, the pools were even warm enough for me to be warm outside. But that was an experience. It was cool, and clearly I just liked the outside aesthetic. But I couldn't take pictures inside anyway. Again, here's my thing with doors, and this is us flying somewhere above the land. And yeah, like we had a layover in Barcelona, which was like, I really thought we would have time to like do something. It was a 5-hour layover, and I was just like, well, you know, you're only supposed to be at an airport maybe like an hour and a half or whatever for international, maybe 2 hours. I was like, that gives us time to like go somewhere, but it really didn't. Like it was this whole thing, and I think I thought I would be able to get out, even though I had like pre-read stuff about the Barcelona airport and how it's just like really horrible. And like you can't find your way to anything. You can't find your way to like the places inside the restaurants or the shops when you're like arriving. You can't like get out. And so yeah, I was just like, okay, like how I was trying to find how I could get a bus or take a Uber to like the city center, because I just wanted to at least see like La Sagrada Familia. And but it was just gonna be way too close that I couldn't risk it. Um, and yeah, the only good thing about it was like actually we could stand outside and it was like warm. but but yeah, like inside, it's really weird the way it's set up. Like so clearly this was our connecting flight, and we couldn't, like we could see um like an outside Starbucks in a really nice like courtyard area, and we could see like shops and people like shopping downstairs, but there was literally no way for us to get downstairs. And then when we tried to go in this elevator and go downstairs, and somebody was like asking us what we were doing, and we're like, we're trying to go to the shops, and they're like that we couldn't, like that it wasn't for us. Like it was really bizarre. It's like if you have a connecting flight, you can't actually reach any of the shops, and it's uh which is what I had read beforehand, but I was just like, that just can't be right. But no, it is right. Like it's a weird thing. I don't know why they set up their airport the way they do, where you were literally watching other people have fun and like you have nothing. So I mean, there was like a couple little places where you can just grab a few drinks and grab a sandwich or whatever, but like legit all the good stuff was for, I don't know whether, I guess if you're just coming straight there, coming straight to the airport and departing, I guess is for you. Like, basic, I don't know. Connecting flight, don't expect to get out, and don't expect to experience anything fun. Anyway, that's the end of this Germany plus trip. Again, it was Germany, Belgium, the Netherlands, um, I guess a brief interlude in Spain, but that does not count. But yeah.
So leave a comment if you have been to Bergisch Gladbach, if you've been to Cologne, share your experiences with me. I'd love to hear about your experience. I love to hear about travel in general. And while we're on the vein of travel, be sure to check out the travel aspect of my site called Simply Mellow Vybes Travel. So if you go to mellowvybes.com, there will be it says travel resources, and it will go to simply Mellow Vybes travel page, which has activities for your trip. It has travel insurance, which is key for international travel. I sometimes don't do if I'm traveling domestically, but international always a must, and was very much necessary when I was in Costa Rica. Yeah. Anyway, Costa Rica is a video from way back, but yes, we got in a car accident, so it was needed. So make sure you get your travel insurance. You can get that at my site again. Just go to mellowvybes.com and then go to the travel resource page, and be sure to sign up on my mailing list for some weekly notes from me, special discounts on my products and services, the classes that I have, and yeah. Again, don't forget to like and share this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace and mellow vibes.